Welcome to yet another episode of the OfferIn Podcast, where we talk real problems, real stories, and real solutions in the world of real estate. So I'm your host, Darrin, and today we're joined by Ben, and we're exploring how real estate agents can stand out from the crowd and gain a true competitive advantage through technology. So a very traditional industry, real estate is changing quickly, fragmented processes, the infiltration of technology and AI into this whole world of, newspapers, legal pads, pencils, going to people's houses, right? That world is now being overrun by all this technology, right? So, looking at a few ways to really stand out and how to leverage that technology. So that's where we're going to go. First, I'm always blown away reading bios of agents on Zillow. So you come across an agent, it says, here's who I am. I work hard for my clients. So that's the differentiator. So how does an agent stand out? I mean, it's such a competitive space, right? The number of homes that are being sold are down from 6.5 million to 4 million, the lowest since 1985. I don't know what percentage that is off the top of my head, but a big percentage, somewhere around 40%, right? 30, and then the number of agents, we're pushing 1.5 million agents. Yep. 75% of all real estate agents sell 5 or less houses per year.
Wow.
And of that, 49% sell 0. So that tells you like 75% of agents out there are struggling to separate themselves and to really build a business, right? So 75% of agents sell 5 or less houses.
Yeah.
How does someone stand out? What do you think of that when you think of those stats, right? How does someone stand out?
I was chuckling to myself being a part of a software company. Growing up, we didn't have a TV and we barely had a computer. And my mom was just like, listen, technology is the devil. So, I think what she was really trying to say is like playing video games endlessly is going to rot your brain. And I want more for your life, which I'm thankful for that now. So we spent a lot of time playing Monopoly and Risk.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's funny now as an adult and being in real estate and owning properties and all of that stuff, like actually like little plug for Settlers of Catan or Monopoly or whatever, like those are good games to play with your kids. Because it really starts to teach them how the movement of things. I didn't realize that's what was happening to me at a young age. But it did. So, I think what causes people to stand out is to have the courage to be themselves and to really dig into how God made them. Like who are you and what are you actually good at? Instead of focusing so much on what other people are doing or what you're supposed to be doing or what you're supposed to look like or what the world is saying, this is what you got to do. And I think when you spend the time to get to know yourself, I think a lot of times people don't even spend the time to get to know themselves about and enjoy how they're made and feel confident in that because they're too worried about what other people think. So I think when you go down the journey of actually starting to ask yourself some real solid questions and getting some real solid direction, you start to come up with some like, wow, or the courage to try new things. You start to figure some stuff out. And so when it comes to real estate, for me, I'm very tactile. So like if I'm walking through a house with you, Kelly and I have renovated 150 properties or something crazy like that. We own 100 and some units. We day in and day out, eat and sleep this stuff.
Yeah.
So if you were walking through a piece of property with me, I was helping you buy it. And I've been in the title business for 20 some years and now only this for a couple. So I did this for 20. I was helping people buy houses before I actually even worked in real estate. Like I was doing it then because we were working and stuff. So if you're going through a property with me, my visibility into like the quality of what somebody did or a problem that is like starting to manifest or the value of somebody's addition or subtraction or whatever, it's just super high from just simple experience. Mm-hmm. Well, that's great in a vacuum. That means like if I could just like take that and like plug it into your brain, instant success. Well, that's not how it works. Right. That's just one thing. And I like to tell people all of the things so that they can actually make a decision. I want to tell you everything bad and everything good that I see. You take that information and make your own decision. I don't want to control what somebody's doing because I want them to take responsibility for their life. Like what's going to happen. So, for me, it's like, well, like if I just have that one thing, maybe in like a micro shell, I'm going to stick out or like stand out. Like I know that about myself, but I also am self-aware enough to know like when my mom said technology was the devil, that actually isn't the truth. Technology, used appropriately is like life-giving for people. It's actually quite the opposite. Now, I think it can also be very destructive if it's just like, if you don't know how to have an actual relationship with somebody. So for me, like knowing about myself and actually being myself and like wanting to tell the truth and wanting to explain things to people and living there, and then also knowing that I don't have this other thing and being humble enough to include it is what allows me to stand out, or is beginning to allow me to stand out. So for another agent, it would be like when somebody some people are so they can see in like color or something. They go into a room and like they know how to design it and put furniture in the right way and put the pictures on the wall, and like they're amazing at it, right? Like they could come into your house and like just tell you to reorganize your furniture and it would sell for $10,000 more. You don't have to do anything. Mm-hmm. Just listen to them. Mm-hmm. However, that person might be horrible at paperwork. Mm-hmm. So like it's the combination of knowing what you're good at and what you're not, and then bringing in those tools or people into your life that's actually going to let you stand out. It's like almost like saying like life is a team sport. Like knowing your role and then knowing other people's role. Mm-hmm. I could tie that into OfferIn, but I'm just...
stepping back to the one point you started the conversation about identity and knowing who you are. What are some things you've done to learn yourself? Like,
okay. Well, what do you mean?
I know your story a little bit, and I would say in your book that you wrote, Real Experience, you break down actual life examples of maybe some failures.
Yeah.
And while failure is not terrible, we encourage failure. It's okay to fail, but it's not okay not to learn from those failures, right? So you've had experiences where you've learned from those, but how do you find your identity? How does somebody really see who they are?
I think the core blocker is selfishness. And that is actually like what I really struggle with is selfishness. So, like going back 20 years, now maybe like 15, 16 years, like getting to a breaking point where for me, I was like wanting to make some destructive decisions in my life, but then, having the there was a guy that I was listening to a sermon. I was at church actually. And the guy said, whatever you think about, whatever you talk about, whatever is most important to you, that's your God. Mm. And so like for me, it was making money. Like I was like, I will do anything. I want to do anything I can to make money. But money, if we had a big pile of money on this table here, it can't talk to you. Mm-hmm. Money can do nothing. It's literally paper. It's valueless unless Darrin tells it what to do, unless Ben tells it what to do. Then it can do something. It's a tool at that point. And so for me, I was serving a dead God. Like this thing isn't even alive, right? And so in my story, like at that moment where I was like legitimately sorry is the truth. Like 2009, like I was just in the middle of like making poor decisions. And like at that moment, realizing that, I'd gone to church my whole life, but like never realized like God is like actually real and wants to interact with me. Like real time. And so like getting to that place, actually like I like broke down in the shower crying, like, I'm so sorry. I just want a new life. I want to start over. I'll give all the money back. And just like being overwhelmed by the love of God. There's more to all of that story that I'll save, but like the reality that I was made by God, that I am like, I was made exactly how I was supposed to be made. And so are you. And so like, as soon as like over that journey of like letting go of all of the like false selves, like I'm supposed to be this, I'm supposed to please that person, like letting go of that and just accepting like, no, like I'm good at this and I'm not at that. And it's okay. Like in that. So I guess the failure stories, we don't have to go into all of those on this one, but like, there's a lot of them, like where this is a journey, right? Like to the degree that you're willing to like hear the criticism, accept it, and say, okay, like I'm going to like actually think through what somebody's saying here is what is going to allow you to invite other people, other processes, other technologies into your life and allow you to stand out because you're playing as a team. You're not just an individual who's self and trying to just do it all on your own. Mm-hmm. You recognize you can't win on your own.
Most agents are independent contractors, 1099. They are on their own, or believe they are. Mm-hmm. So how would somebody, again, you say, okay, you kind of understand who you are as a person, what you're bringing, what value you're bringing, then also maybe your shortcomings.
Yeah. What do they do?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at first they like recognize what they're good at.
Yeah.
And then immediately recognize that they're not alone. Mm-hmm. Right? Like there's a broker there. Mm-hmm. There's other seasoned agents there. There's podcasts. There's investors who want to be included. There's technologies OfferIn. There's resources. Somebody said to me one time, everything that you need, God has put one arm length around you. Mm-hmm. It's all around you. Mm-hmm. Everything that you need is right around you. Slow down and look at what has been brought into your life. Or there's another Bible verse that says like, you have not because you ask not. It's like, okay, well, like I'm jammed up. Like until you believe that God is real, like say it out loud. Like, okay, God, I'm not sure if you're real or not. Like this is what I need. I guarantee like he's going to show up like right around you and you're going to start to realize, oh my gosh, like he really likes me and like wants to like give to me. Mm-hmm. Right? Like he's a giver. So, for these new agents, or even seasoned agents who are, if they're listening to this, like there's people that are hurting. I guarantee it. Like they are so good at their job. I'm realizing that. 20 years in the title business, I was so jaded towards real estate people, legitimately jaded. I was wrong. I had no idea what real estate people go through. Mm-hmm. So if I have any empathy, it's like not guilt, but like the little bit of shame of like, oh my gosh, I'm an ass, right? Like for doing this, but like we need to help these people. Like there's like an actual real need. They need this. Mm. Like I said on the last episode, that agent, she's been around for like 30 years, still struggling because she doesn't know about this tool that like actually would like give life back to her life.
Yeah. Let's dive into that. Why would OfferIn, a technology, give her life? And in what way?
I think the biggest part about that I didn't realize about real estate was how emotional it is. Mm. The clients are emotional. Mm. People are not trusting. Like there's this like, it's like a dog fight. And then, the mortgage people and it's like, there's all this tension and pressure and people moving. And, when you're moving, it's like you're rustling up all, like you're pulling out drawers and it's hard. So real estate agents have to deal with all of that emotion. It gets poured out on them. It gets poured out on them at 9:00 at night when like somebody needed them. And then at like 2:00 in the afternoon when nobody needed them, they're like what am I doing with myself? It's like, it's very emotional.
Sure.
So this piece of technology, it manages the emotion on both sides. Like it allows you to relax and the customer to relax, which I think when you take the emotion down, that also is just like memory probably starts to get better. You know, when you're stressed out, like you're not really remembering how you were or what you were doing. But if you're in like a state, not a state of Zen, but you're just like joyful.
In the zone.
Yeah, you're in the zone. It's like your memory is at its best. So it's like I remember the first time I experienced OfferIn, and it was amazing. It was like, it was probably the reason why it exists. It honestly, to goodness, is the reason why it exists today. No joke.
Share the story.
So we're selling our house, and Kevin, who was our agent, this is, I don't know, 7-8 years ago. He, first of all, we were like disagreeing on the price of the house. Like I thought my house was worth way less than what he thought it was worth, which is so funny. And you would be surprised at how often that happens. People are either high, pretty close, or low. Pretty close is usually when they bought it recently. Anyway, so we put the house up for sale. We get this like 2 or 3 offers right out the gate. Beautiful letter. I'm like, oh my gosh, these are the people. Kevin's like, just wait. Don't take the right offer. Don't take the first offer. Don't take these right away. Just, you got to give it a couple days. Like this is really a lot of action on your house. And I remember, and the truth is we had poured a lot of money into this house and it was difficult. And so like as the seller, I actually, if you said to me in a nutshell, could you have like the perfect family go here or like get the highest dollar? I was like, I would have taken the highest dollar. Cause like I actually like want to get the money back out of it that I had put into it. Yeah. So we're at Silver Lake. I pull into Silver Lake. There was like a little playground area. My mother-in-law and father-in-law live in Silver Lake. So my wife, kids are there. They're playing. I pull in and we just got the offer. It's like, I don't know, $65,000 more than what we were asking. Oh. And my wife comes like running across the parking lot. She's like, did you see it? Did you see it? Like, you know, and like she and I like knew immediately. It was like, oh my gosh, like this is the best. Like this is what we were hoping. We weren't even hoping. It was more than we were even hoping for. So, you know, then fast forward years later when it came up to this and it was time to like, do we go all in on this? Like, is it worth it? It was like, for me, you know, Kevin was actually questioning it. He was like, he couldn't spend the money because he, you know, was like the primary architect of like knowing all the systems. Mm-hmm. For me, it was like 100%. Do it.
That experience that it created for you.
Yeah. I mean, like you can't, you know, it was just like, it was so, I mean, I can literally see like the gravel and everything in my mind, like at that moment when that came out. So, and, you know, I mean, I think we're talking about like what causes someone to stand out. Kevin is he's a techie kind of, I mean, I call him Kevin AI half the time, right? Mm-hmm. So he's just, that's how he is. Why I love working with him is like, he was even 2 years ago still like trapped in his basement, essentially in his underwear doing real estate because like this point, to my point earlier of like, how do you stand out? He also recognized about himself, hey, I have all of this, but like, it's never going to be visible. So he asked me like, hey, will you do this with me? Right. The least technology oriented person around. Thanks, Mom. But like, I also like can like God, the way God wired me is like, I think the thing that he gave me is like, I can see what's good in somebody else. Like that's actually what I have. Like I'm not the best at anything actually. I'm just like really good. I'm like the best at saying that you're the best at something. So everybody's different. So I think if you're able to recognize how God made you, accept it, appreciate it, enjoy it. And then as soon as you can do that, then you can really start to enjoy it about somebody else and see what they have to offer you.
See what they have to offer you. OfferIn.
What do you have to give? And listen, part of walking out life is giving. But you know what? A lot of people have their receiver is a little broken. They can be the most loving person, but they actually have a hard time receiving love. And that is a big deal. Like if you have that problem, usually I would say that's like rooted in some insecurity, like some pride, like some humility has to come in there in order for you to like start to receive and recognize that like you do need other people. You were hurt. People get hurt all the time. They put up walls and then they don't want to, trust other people. But you need to be able to trust God's spirit in other people. Like not just universally trust other people, because we're all messed up. We all do the wrong thing at the wrong time or whatever at some point. But if you can see those pattern of like what is best in other people, you can do great things and you'll stand out for it in a humble way. You don't even have to like be like, look at me. You can just be the best version of you. That's what stands out.
Yeah. So that still being the best version of yourself doesn't necessarily tie into the leverage of technology, or does it? Yeah. Well, you say, okay, here you're saying be the best you.
Yeah.
On this side, you're saying leverage technology to manage emotions of your clients and all that. Because how do those two connect?
Okay, so for me, it's like I told you, I can like explain all this stuff to you, but like when it comes to paperwork, I am the worst. When it comes to technology, I'm the worst. Right? So, but like I really care about my client. Like I actually want them to have the best experience because I actually care about them. Like I spend all this time investing in educating them. Well, at least in my world, I'm like, well, okay, well, here's this person, Tina. She can write all the paperwork for you. She's way better at it than I am. And oh, by the way, hey, you need this tool right here, OfferIn. Like this is gonna validate all of my information here. Like,
does it make you look more professional to use the technology like this?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
100%. I mean, it's like I think that the seller is just like their overall experience is just okay. So for a decade, while Kevin had built this like rudimentary version, he was using this for years. I was at the title company and I got to see the bird's eye view of like thousands of real estate transactions. I'm telling you, hands down, the education, the transparency, the ease of like Kevin's ability to interact with OfferIn for these people equaled like peaceful. Like these people were just like coming through the transaction, like they weren't freaked out. That's the biggest thing that stood out about the customers. It was like,
so wait, you're saying like the customers at your title company, the customers that were OfferIn clients,
yes,
their files were.
Well, the combination of like the process that Kevin was taking him through, which was like all oriented through like taking him through this offer process, like 100%, like they were, we joked about it. Someone would be like, I'll take 2 of those files and give you 1 of these ones. Legitimately.
Yeah. Why? Why is
because
that?
Like the 2 were easy to work on than the 1.
No, but what made them easier?
The people were coming through like calm, like they were at peace. Like these people weren't freaked out. It was almost like the transparency of what was happening. Like it made them feel like they were making decisions. They were choosing things. So even if it went wrong, they had the visibility. They were empowered. They were making the decisions. Now, Kevin obviously was like educating them and like pointing them at the right things, but like they didn't feel like bait and switch. They didn't feel like they knew all the information. They got to process it. They got to be a part of it. And then they got to actually join with their agent to make the decision, not feel like, was there a missing element or something like that? So, and it equaled, no, nothing is perfect. I'm not saying it was like 100%, but I'm telling it was like noticeable.
Wow.
Like for real noticeable, which was a big part of like when it was time when Kevin was asking, and he asked me for like 4 years to come do this with them. I was like, God, I got to do it. Like I knew I needed to do it. I was afraid to jump over onto this side, honestly, out of like, just like insecurity and selfishness on my part, because I was just like, I didn't understand what caused agents to be so upset. The agents get so upset. It's so emotional for them. this thing is going, I didn't realize how they were missing their kids' ball games. Like, I didn't get it. I would be as mad as they were. If we didn't have this, I wouldn't want to do it, honestly. Like, it would be too much. We wouldn't get to have our life. And that, I think, is what I'm passionate about. It's like actually giving these agents their life back. Like, you work hard. You do a great job. Like, use this tool so you can actually enjoy the fruit of your labor. And recognize if you are an older person who is like very successful, who actually is the one that needs this, you probably are not tech savvy enough to use this, just like me. Because like you grew up in a different generation. Humble yourself, invite somebody to the table in your life, an assistant, a younger person, or whatever, to actually use a tool like this so that your life is better, so you can enjoy your life. It's going to make you a better person even for your future clients.
So that's intense, right?
Is that bad or good?
No, that's great.
Oh, good.
That truly, like it helps manage the emotions. It helps manage the files on the end. You know, even backing up to the front, we're talking about competitive edge for an agent.
Yeah.
How do you know how many agents a seller interviews typically when they're selling a house?
I mean, I'm going to say like up to 3.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, well, I hear that, like
Right.
you're the third agent or you're the whatever.
Okay. So how does OfferIn help with that competitive advantage on a listing appointment?
Yeah. I mean, I think just anytime the seller, in this case, which is where OfferIn like is the primary like tool is used, it's like anytime you can really make it about them and how to assist them, like this is their moment. Like we're the professionals, we're the guides here, taking them through, but like any tool that you have that really empowers them is going to then make you stand out. I think a lot of agents struggle with like trying to make it about themselves on accident. Like I think that's insecurity actually.
Well, back to the Zillow post, I work hard for my clients. Like, okay, yes, it is about the client, but it's also saying, hey, I do this for you.
Yeah. Which they need to do that, but it's almost like, again, going back to
true differentiator, I guess.
Yeah.
Is the point.
Know yourself. Like, yeah, hey, like I've had a career in technology. So like I have an advantage there because like I know that, but hey, I also, I mean, that was made up. I don't have a career in technology. I'm saying like an agent could, let's a better example. An agent could come to the table and be like, listen, I was an interior designer. I am phenomenal at helping people get their homes ready for sale. Like they should focus on that, know their gifting.
There you go. And
then when they get to the point where they have to do the paperwork and the offer technology, be like, listen, and thank God there's so-and-so at the office who helps me with my paperwork. And there's OfferIn that helps me with the offer. Because listen, Mrs. Seller, if I do the world's best job at getting your house ready and then don't help you pick the right offer, kind of worthless, right? So that self-awareness to know yourself, you can be confident in who you are, but it's not all about you. It's like, it's about this person whose life event is happening, which I think that's the heart of all real estate agents. They actually think that way. It just can come across a little confusing because we're trying to say, hey, pick me. I'm the person that has the thing that you need to move your life forward.
Yeah. I've heard so many stories, from the hundreds of agents that have used OfferIn. There's so many examples when they show up to a listing appointment. They actually have like here's OfferIn in their little presentation. They have like a slide of saying, here's our offer delivery system.
Yep.
Here's how we're going to communicate. Here's how we're going to be on the same page together. Here's how I'm going to help you. Here's how I'm going to share information with you. Just the quick 1-minute overview of what it's like to use this technology for them, so they have that better experience. And as you talked about, their experience is going to be one that like you as the real estate agent and the customer, the seller, are going to be on the same page. Tell me some examples on walking through the offer, like where you say, hey, we're on the same page. We're not actually like, because you can be against one another, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like you've shared experiences with me before about how you've seen stories about how the agent and the customer are like, oh, the customer wants to set it at this price, but then the customer is saying, well, the agent is not doing their job because we're not getting any offers, and there's some back and forth. How has OfferIn helped you feel like you're on the same page, or the seller feel like you're on the same page with them?
Well, because when the buyer's agent submits an offer, it goes directly to the seller.
Okay.
It eliminates the question mark of, was I organized? Did I see it at the right time? Did I take too long to communicate it? Now, you can toggle that off and on, but most people, it's like, hey, I want them to have this information. So what it does effectively is allow the seller to see that the market is speaking. Hey, we gave you all the information. It's still your house. You're going to get to decide what you list it for. Our job is to market it, make it look beautiful, get people in the door. But at the end of the day, the house is going to sell the house. So OfferIn allows these sellers to get a look under the hood. It's like Chipotle. They can see through the glass. They're not mixing and matching all the stuff, but they're watching it. And so they can now see, like, when the offer comes through, and if you want to be an on top of it agent and you're like, send a quick text, hey, that's so cool. That's like having like clean metal around the Chipotle line. Or are you at a Chipotle line where it's like a total disaster? I mean, because there's definitely both.
I've been there.
Yeah, me too. So it's like so when there's no offer that comes through and there's all this feedback that says, hey, this house is dirty, or this house has like, is overpriced or whatever, that it allows the seller to join with the agent looking at the problem and then being on the same team, like, hey, how are we going to solve this problem? Not, I'm in the dark. I don't know what's happening. That's the seller. Agent also like, crap, I told him this thing was overpriced. Now it's like we're against each other. So OfferIn allows us to like be together solving the problem for the seller the way it should be, so we can move their life forward.
There's so many technologies out there, so many different things to do and to use, from lead generation all the way through the process.
Yeah.
But when we're looking at a customer engaged, this is what the business is. It's a customer. It's about the customer selling their house. But all these technologies exist in real estate that aren't necessarily about the customer. OfferIn is the one piece that really does make it the experience about the customer and allows the agent to truly have a competitive advantage in those situations. So, in wrapping up, it's a very crowded market. Obviously, finding the edge is critical. And we talked about some deep stuff, we talked about some, the more like, again, technology and some nuts and bolts of that, which is the technology itself is not emotional,
right?
But this whole experience is extremely emotional.
Yeah.
So leveraging technology helps decrease some of that emotion and helps the agent hopefully be a little bit more competitive in their situation. So
yeah, well, and not only just more competitive, and I know we have to wrap this up here, but like, it's both, right? This is so good for the customer, but I can't express enough how good it is for the agent. And I think when, in our culture, taking care of yourself is different than being selfish, right? So like, it's like knowing yourself, knowing your limits, and understanding how to take care of yourself, whether it's what you're eating, whether you're exercising, what you're reading, like what you're doing to take care of yourself, allows you to come to the table the best for your client, for your wife, for your kids, whatever. And so, eliminating the chaos out of your life as a real estate agent on this offer process is a form of self-care. It allows you to like take a breath, recognize that this chaos is now order, and you can trust it and focus on taking care of yourself so you can take care of other people. If you don't have something to give, if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to have anything else to give anybody else.
That's good. Can you imagine a carpenter showing up at your house without a tool belt? Right. It's essentially like, hey, I'm going to show up. Hey, I'm the magic here. I'm going to make this whole thing happen, versus saying, hey, I have great people around me. I have great technology around me. I can use this one for this situation, that one for this. and you're more well-rounded. You're actually capable of doing your job in a better way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, I love it. Thanks for a deep conversation. And with OfferIn, you can make a competitive edge without even saying a word. And that's why we love it, because it helps create a great client experience we've talked about. And even more importantly, creates this great well-being for the agent. So thanks for joining us. See you on the next one.